record just so we're going here. I got to refer to notes, guys.
Oh, sure.
So, make sure my phone's on silent. Awesome. So you found the place okay?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got here a little early, so we went to the gas station to get a bunch of body armor.
Yeah. Do you have stock in the company or what?
Yeah.
We're fishing for an endorsement right now.
There you go.
Just to make sure you get your label turned.
Good thinking. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll put this on the podcast, of course, and then I'll put that on YouTube.
Oh, sweet.
I'll sync the two up. I was going to try to mic that and or run a couple mics to it, and just at the last minute I was like, it's probably going to not turn out well for me. So, but I'll sync these two up and we'll go from there.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Sounds
so have
good.
you been to Pendleton before?
Yes.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah, Pendleton's awesome.
Yeah.
My partner used to have a little studio that they'd work out of with Joe Shelton's daughter.
Oh, so you
Really?
literally know. Okay, that
Yeah.
name. I thought maybe you were just making a joke, like, "Hey, Joe Shelton," but you know Joe Shelton.
Yeah, we're friends with his daughter.
Okay.
So yeah, visiting Bailey, Joe's daughter,
Yeah.
here
Okay.
in Pendleton.
Okay.
And there's that cool little bar here with the teeny stage.
Yeah. The stable.
The stable.
Yeah, we played there a couple weeks ago, and it is tiny. It's probably the tiniest stage I've played on.
That's a
Not
fun.
that I played on a lot of them, but that's the tiniest.
It's a fun place.
Yeah, it is a fun place. Have you been in since they remodeled it?
Maybe it was definitely like post COVID.
Okay, so they closed it for about 9 months, and then they remodeled it. I think the remodel became much more than they anticipated because it was closed a while. It hasn't been open a year yet.
Okay.
But the stage is in the back now. It used to be right when you walk in the door.
Front door, yeah.
I mean, it was right there. So yeah, but it's a cool place.
I'm trying to convince these guys to move to Pendleton. Right
Yeah?
now. Yeah.
We might just stay here after this record. Just look for an
Yeah.
apartment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
We'll
sure you
grab
can
some
find one.
stuff and then head back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about where are you guys from originally? Just each of you.
You two go first.
I lived in Indianapolis for a while, and then my high school career, we moved to a small town called Sheridan, Indiana.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I call Sheridan my home, though.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and-
I'm very familiar with Sheridan.
yeah,
Yeah.
where this guy's
Corey?
from.
Yeah, that's basically where I grew up. I mean, I grew up in Noblesville, and then
Okay.
kindergarten is up basically when I moved to Sheridan, and
Okay.
yeah, and then we all kind of traversed to kind of the Broad Ripple area,
Okay.
more or less.
I'm from Fairmount, Indiana.
Oh,
Yeah.
James Dean.
James Dean.
Yeah, he
Dude,
knows.
James Dean is my guy. James
Is he?
Dean, Garfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
both right
Jim
there.
Davis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is Jim Davis from there too?
Yeah, he grew up in Fairmount, born in Marion, and then he ended up living near Muncie.
Okay.
So all three of those towns claim Jim Davis. But he actually came up, Garfield, the cat Garfield,
Mhm.
is from Fairmount.
That's cool.
That was
does
his farm
John
cat.
does John canonically live in Fairmount?
No.
No?
No.
John and Garfield?
I don't know where those are supposed to take
Odie?
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fairmount.
All right.
Fairmount.
Okay.
And I'm from southern Illinois, a little town called Robinson. That's where I
Okay.
grew up. Yeah.
Okay.
I moved to Indianapolis in 2012.
All right.
Yeah.
So 12 years ago ish.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me how you guys got together, how this become the Moon Goons.
Well, first of all, where are you from, Darian?
I'm right here. I'm from Pendleton.
You are from Pendleton.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a great place to be.
Born and raised.
Nice.
Yeah. I lived in Anderson for a few years, but mostly here. So
The casino.
yeah. 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 I'm not a casino guy. I've been there. Been to some shows there
Yeah.
actually. But no, we lived in town here, just about 30 seconds from here at one point, and then we moved out to the east side of town.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So you guys get together how?
So Corey and I met working at a music store together. Actually, worked at Sam Ash
Okay.
in 2017 is when we met.
2017.
2017. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in the guitar department. And he worked in the pro audio department,
Okay.
and we would just stare at each other from across the store. No, we became quick friends based off of music taste, and then started jamming after we had both left the music store. And Brooke and Corey have known each other forever.
Okay.
And
What's that connection then? Just because you were from the same town?
We're engaged.
Oh,
Yep.
We've been
well,
together
okay.
for-
Well, there's a little
We've-
Yeah.
subplot, little
Okay.
twist I didn't
Right.
see.
Since
14
2010.
yeah,
Yep,
14 years.
14 years.
Okay.
So
So, yeah.
we've known each other for a while.
Okay. All right. Little plot twist there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
High school sweetheart.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
So Brooke started working on the keys and some of these songs that Corey was making, and then
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey Corey, convince Brooke to just be in the band." And
Easy peasy.
Brooke was in the band, and then we had a different guitar player, bassist for a while, and then eventually Devin came in 2019.
Okay.
Tore it up.
And-
Yeah, I was our old guitar player. I was playing guitar in another band with him,
okay.
and Goons bassist kind of dropped off the radar, and they needed
Mhm.
someone for a show,
Yeah.
big show coming up, and I jumped in and just stayed in.
And stayed in.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's our
okay.
guy.
That's
Yeah.
our guy. All right. Cool. So let's start with the name. Who came up with the name, and what other names didn't make it?
Mm.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, we were called Blown for a short while,
Okay.
Mhm.
and then found out that there was like 5 other bands also named Flown. So
Okay.
we had to come up with something else. So it was the first one was
Brookie came up with Lucid Goons,
Lucid Goons.
and I
yeah.
really liked the word goons, and said, "Hey, moon rhymes."
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was
Yeah.
it. It
Yeah.
stuck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're
I
don't
think
know.
the name fits a lot better,
yeah.
Mhm.
and I couldn't imagine it being anything else now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you guys officially become Moon Goons, or when did the name?
April of 2018 was the big
2018.
name change, but we just started in early 2018 and had played 3 shows under the name Flown,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
Cool.
2018.
Thank goodness. Flown is so stale, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. It's a
Yeah.
weird like part of speech to be
Mhm.
a band name. What is that? Like the past
Participle.
participle
Yep.
of flu? Yeah.
Yep.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. I'd agree with that. Yeah. So early musical influences.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys draw from? What's your well?
Let's we'll go Devin first.
Yeah, I think we come from pretty different backgrounds. Corey and I have some in common. I grew up mostly listening to like I started on like punk and then kind of moved more into like progressive rock
Mhm.
and like heavy metal and then just like more down the extreme metal rabbit hole.
Mhm.
So that's most of my background.
Mhm.
These days I listen to a lot of like jazz and
Mm,
fusion as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Which is pretty far from at least where Moon Goons started. I feel like some of that stuff is kind of converging in our newer music a little bit,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
For
Okay.
sure.
Cool. Good. Jacob.
Just a bit all over the place. We just kind of grew up drumming to whatever.
Yeah.
And then my first band was actually a country band. And so like my first experience of like learning songs and
Yeah.
playing in front of people, it was all kind of like Americana,
Mhm.
indie country music.
Okay.
And then just kind of grew into the psych rock thing, and that became my bread and butter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Corey.
Yeah, I think I really loved just hearing X103 on the radio when
Okay.
I was younger because I couldn't.
Back when it was something different than it is now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because back at home I couldn't listen to it, and then
Mhm.
like when I did hear it though, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been missing out. So that, of course, just being like hard rock,
Yeah.
and then Guitar Hero was a huge influence. Buckethead being probably the most influential character I've ever seen or heard of. And then from there, you get lots of metal, and then now it's like soundtracks and psych rock and
Yeah.
still metal, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, more variety now,
Okay.
which is I'm thankful.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Brooke.
it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just have like a lot of variety.
Mhm.
I think for any kind of genre, I feel like I like a couple of artists or something from that like spot.
Yeah.
Right now it's like psych rock, but I think we're always just kind of changing into like that next like artist we really are kind of obsessing over, and then we kind of like find something new, but it's not really new. Just
Yeah.
haven't discovered it yet. So. It's just kind of all over the place,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. So, what was the vision for the band in the early days?
Well, I think we were just so like we loved King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard
Yeah,
so much.
As all of you were talking, I was like, someone has to say King Gizzard.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
weird that no
can't-
one has said that
We're
yet.
not gonna lie. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, without their inspiration, like,
Yeah, that-
I'm not sure where it would have been found necessarily.
The band totally started just because I really wanted to play music that sounded like King Gizzard.
Yeah.
And I knew Corey was a good guitar player that also loved that band a lot.
He
Yeah.
was the only one. That's why we became friends. He was the only one that knew about him, but also loved that kind of music.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
everyone else was total opposite. And I was like,
So yeah,
I love this guy.
the original vision was like, let's just rip off King Gizzard.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's extremely apparent in the first album.
Yeah.
Like there's like riffs that just are almost completely lifted from King Gizzard
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
I remember too when we were gonna drop our first EP. I was like sketching out what I think the first album cover should look like, and I just like drew "I'm in Your Mind" Fuzz by King Gizzard. I was like, oh, I just never mind. We can't do that
Wow.
exactly. But-
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
And yeah, someone mentioned a long time ago, like,
well, we just got really tired of everyone always just being like, "You sound
Yeah.
just like King
so
Gizzard."
we're like, okay,
Uh,
let's,
Let's try to do our own thing.
retrace our steps. And
Yeah.
Figure out what it is.
so
Yeah.
the new wave
Yeah.
came in album 2, I think. So
And we're going to talk about your albums here in a minute, or particularly the new one. But the thing, one question I have here: are any of you trained on your instruments? You just self-taught?
I
Mhm.
did take lessons.
Did ya?
If that counts. But,
Yeah.
Um,
Because you're playing, each of you, the playing is phenomenal. I mean, in the way you're playing, I just every time I sit and listen, I'm like, I don't know how these guys do that.
oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you.
serious. I'm like, okay, and surely you've had some lessons or something, because I don't know. It's just so tight too. The playing is so tight, and
Yeah, I mean, I was like in band in high school,
Mhm.
but obviously I wasn't playing guitar or bass.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of guitar for like jazz bands
Uh-huh.
stuff, but so like there's like a basic music theory knowledge
Mhm.
that comes from that, but I've never had any kind of formal training
oh my gosh,
at all.
wow,
I mean, I literally started playing bass when I joined this band.
Ah,
I'd never had a
wow.
bass.
Never-
Well,
before.
kudos to
There you
you.
go.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I tried to do that once. I tried to sit in with some guys that wanted a bass player, and I'd jam with some guys for a couple years. I thought I'll try that, and it was boom, 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 boom. I was
Yeah,
real
sure.
basic. I'm like, there's way more to that than just grabbing a bass and playing.
Honestly, I feel like it took me 2 years of being in the band before I understood what my job was.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just playing a big guitar for a while.
Uh-huh.
Really on
Big,
the
heavy guitar.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you play with a pick or fingers?
I play with a pick.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Because you're
I-
an ex-guitar player. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really can't. I mean, I can do really basic stuff, finger style, and I do work on that.
Uh-huh.
But with like the speed and intensity and a lot of
Mhm.
Moon Goon stuff, I'm just not.
Yeah.
I just don't have the dexterity
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Pick
the
is easy,
sound.
it's second nature.
I think the sound with the pick is better for our music anyway. Like,
Yeah, the more aggressive.
Yeah.
just
sure.
honestly, like,
Yeah.
it just works out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we've kind of touched on this, but how would you, if you could put yourself in a box, and most don't want to do that, but how would you describe your genre? I know I've read Goblin Rock.
Goblin Rock.
Yeah, that's been the new thing.
Yeah.
Just trying to cut. So right now, like I do all the emailing and writing stuff for the band. I try to stay away from the word psych because I'm noticing, like, everyone's claiming that they're a psych band at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
So just trying to stand out. I've been trying to just lean into different descriptors. So yeah, like Goblin Rock.
Yeah.
Goblin
Uh,
Prog.
Yeah, Goblin Prog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
I know-
Goblin Prog. That's what I had written
I
down.
think Garage Prog was on
Yeah,
our
uh-huh.
press for a while.
Yeah.
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 'Cause I don't think we're a super proggy band too, but I
Mm.
prefer to take the prog label over psych at this point, just because it is a little more different.
Yeah, it's a-
But we are definitely a psych band.
Yeah.
I love
I feel like-
the term psych.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Prog is kind of a wider net too.
Yeah.
It feels less constrictive than
Mhm.
psych rock. Prog rock feels a little bit more open.
Yeah.
Open to interpretation as to what that is.
Yeah.
I think someone mentioned dark psychedelia. I thought was pretty cool. I mean, still psych, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the dark aspect is
Yeah.
pretty much apparent, I think, and
Hmm.
um,
Yeah. Well, and I think the new record sounds a lot different than the last record, and that record sounded a lot different than the first record
Yeah.
too. So it's kind of hard to say. This new record's a lot more like heavy and aggressive than the past stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your studio material. So your first release came in 2018.
That's right.
Yeah. And that was a full release, right?
That was first record.
Yeah.
It was just Corey had started working on those songs when you were in college.
Yeah.
All the way up until the point when we started recording.
Okay.
So it was just kind of a big scrapbook of Corey's musical ideas
Yeah.
from
Just
5
putting
years.
things on GarageBand or something like that. Is that how you were writing them?
I think at that time I moved to Reaper still.
Okay.
I think I started, so I had like Sonar and Audacity and and then I was like, I love Reaper. So I've been using it ever since.
Yeah.
Works
Oh,
great.
really? Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah, and I'm sure once you get used to something, it's like I don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to learn something else,
Yeah.
especially if it's working.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I love Pro Tools and all, but man, it's expensive.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's where my comfort zone is right there.
Okay. And that one was called Space Trash.
Mhm.
Slimy Clump come out in 2019.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's 6 songs. Is that an EP? Is that a full release?
Oh, that's it. That's an EP for
okay.
sure.
Okay.
Because the songs are all so short. I mean, with
Mhm.
6 songs, it still comes out to
Was it
be
12
like,
minutes?
I think less than. I think it's
Less
like
than?
11
Oh.
minutes. Yeah.
Mhm.
But that was a fun release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty much all just Corey
Yeah.
coming up with stuff and
Okay.
Mhm.
making us laugh.
Yeah.
hmm
Mhm.
Well, and Brooke actually introduced me to The Residents,
Okay.
the crazy. Not. I mean, kind of crazy. But the band, were they from the 60s? Technically,
Hmm.
right? I think, or maybe early 70s. I'm not sure. But real wacky, zany music that
Mhm.
I'm not sure what you could call it. Avant-garde for sure.
Mhm.
But when she showed me that, I was like, oh man, I've got to get into this,
Yeah.
kind of avenue for a minute, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just fun to access that goofy side,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
nonsensical.
A Daydream Dark 2021. That's a full release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I bought the whole catalog, by the way, off of Bandcamp.
Oh,
I've not been able to do a deep dive on every
Thank
one
you,
of
by
them
the way.
yet, but
Thanks.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
So, and then the Back Alley Ballyhoo, you released the 23 show there.
Yes, set 1 from 2023 is on.
Because you played there in 22, right?
Yeah, we've done pretty much, I think we've done all the Back Alley Ballyhoos since we've been a band.
Okay.
But yeah, I took the audio from the night 1 show that we played.
Okay.
Because last year we actually did 2 sets over 2 nights.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
But the second set, a lot of it was unreleased, so I decided to keep that off of Bandcamp.
Okay.
But night 1, yeah.
So we'll ever see the light of day, or
Oh, sure.
at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Jacob will put it on a tape eventually. If
Yeah.
it exists,
It's
Jacob
already
will put
on
it on a
tape.
tape
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is
It's already on a tape.
It's hidden. Yeah.
Because I saw you, I think I shared with you when we were texting. I volunteered at Square Cat in 22, and I was working the front desk, checking people in when you guys played. So I got a couple videos of you playing, and that was my first exposure to you guys.
We were Worms that year.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, we were in
That was
the,
Worm year.
yeah,
Worm year.
right.
Oh, so
That
you
was
had a
fun.
whole year of Worms? Was it
No, that's
Worms?
just for the Ballyhoo. We were Worms.
Yeah.
Oh, just there.
We
okay.
do like a special costume
Yeah.
thing for every
Mhm.
ballyhoo or whatever. And yeah, that was, we had just put out Sandworm,
Yeah.
so we dressed up like worms.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a pretty uncomfortable one.
Dude,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the morph suits are just,
yeah.
Can't stay away.
Yeah.
I hope that we're done with morph suits
I
for a
agree.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least-
the
I'm
most
not done.
comfortable thing.
We're
Yeah,
not done.
maybe
going.
Uh-oh.
underneath.
I want to keep going.
She's not done.
You want to
Yeah.
keep going?
When we were painting the suits for the worm costumes, I made it really complicated. I don't know why, but I put like towels in the morph suits so it looked like a body. And I just like hung them on our porch, and that's how I painted them.
Okay.
But they had to stay out there to dry, and like,
It's like all these bodies
yeah, it's like
swinging back and
in
forth.
like the
they were like flesh
summertime.
colored too. so-
Yeah, it's really spooky, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's harder
It
to
was
paint
silly.
those than you think, though.
Yeah.
Like to get stripes.
Sounds like a commitment then. That's
Yeah.
a real commitment.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
More
Cool.
suits. I'm ready for more suits.
More morph suits.
So then the newest release is Lady of Many Faces. And
That's right.
That's
Mhm.
coming out in a week, couple weeks?
On Saturday.
On
Saturday.
It snuck up on me. But
Yeah.
Saturday.
Wow, yeah, that's right.
6 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. So 8 songs.
Yeah.
Um, and then you've got and I'm getting ahead of myself here, but then you've got an album release show too coming up, right?
Yeah, the following weekend. So
Yeah.
that's like 13 days away now or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
going to be awesome.
We're so excited.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big nervous for this one.
I know. I'm like
Sweat
already
cat.
sweating. My
Are you really?
yeah, my
Getting
hands
clammy.
are like already clammy right now.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
thinking about it because it's coming.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be so fun. We have
Yeah.
our friends opening up for it.
Mhm.
It's gonna be
Oh,
good. Doom Gong. So excited to play with Doom Gong again. Jacob's repping the shirt right now.
There you go.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rude X. It's gonna be a
Super
really fun time.
wonderful support acts and
Yeah.
supporting acts.
Yeah. Cool.
It's gonna be fun.
So, like I said, 8 songs. You've released 2 singles so far. Ego Feeder is the first single
Mhm.
off of that. And when we made contact, I checked that one out because I think it was on Spotify. I think you'd already maybe had released that to Spotify and loved it. Just loved that song. What made you decide to release that one first?
That wasn't what I initially thought was going to be the first single.
Okay.
I definitely thought it was going to be a different song, but we're putting this record out with the Romanus Records.
Yeah,
Do you know Chris?
Sure. Yeah.
He
Had him on the podcast. He's a great guy.
yeah, he wanted to do that one because it has a chorus.
Oh.
And like, yeah, I get it.
A catchy chord.
And I was really stoked to do that one first actually because like it personally I don't even think it's in like the top 5 best songs on the record.
Huh.
So I thought it would be like cool to do that one and then the following single and then when you hear the full record it's just like it just gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Ego Feed I like that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was really Chris's idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a great guy. I've enjoyed talking to him. Enjoy watching him play too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
He's
a
a
lot
wild
of fun.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. He is. Yeah. So then the second single, Larva Lamp.
That's right.
Yeah. And now you've got a video for that.
Yeah, that was
That was
fun.
fun.
You just
Yeah.
released the video, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit how that came about and how you recorded it. And
It all came from you.
Yeah.
The idea was let's just do it ourselves.
Mhm.
So we just blacked out their basement, played to the song a few times, and got a bunch of clips of that. And then for any sort of Moon Goons content, the best thing you can do is just kind of like dress up Corey real funny
Yeah.
and have him like look at the camera and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, never fails to make good content.
Yeah.
So we just did that and threw it out there. I love that. I love that video just because it was 100% us. You know,
Yeah.
and it was just essentially just a couple of days of us goofing around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it took
Yeah,
you
a
a
lot of
couple
fun.
days. To put it-
Yeah, the live shots were one day, then all the shots where Corey has face paint on was another day.
Yeah. So do you sketch that out? I mean, how does that come to be the things that you're doing in it?
I just made a list of like every single shot that I wanted to see in the video,
Mhm.
and then made sure we got each shot, and then I just kind of sat behind the computer for a while and lined them all up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
A little goofy one.
Yeah, I liked it. Do you have another single in mind? I know you just released this one, but is there something on deck or
That was it.
that's it?
I seriously, I can't believe the album comes out in 6 days.
Yeah.
Totally forgot. I would have put out another single,
Yeah.
but it's a little too late.
Yeah. Okay. So were all of these songs written for this record?
All but one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, you mean pre-written or
Yeah,
or like?
well, Larva Lamp was an older demo that
Oh
Corey
yeah.
found.
But actually,
Okay.
both of those songs, Ego Feeder and Larva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then everything else was in mind for this.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. How long did it take you to track the album?
What was it?
Couple
Three.
of days.
3
3
days.
days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
just
it?
a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
3 days?
Yeah.
And then we, double track and
Sure.
vocals and
Yeah. Are you do you record live as a band and then come back and so basically the basic core of the song is you guys playing live and
Correct.
recording it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
We record in the same room we practice in too. So we're just set up in there. Corey runs cables and gets everything set up. And
Yep. It looks like a crazy mess, but
Yeah.
it's like one of those beautiful messes that
Yeah.
you see, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think we did 5 songs day 1, 3 songs day 2.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then it was
And our buddy Nikki Clark
Yeah, Nick
ran the
Clark
board
Shout out
for
Nick
us.
Clark.
from the band Radar Gold
Yeah,
Okay.
helped us record it.
Yeah.
because it's so much easier when you have someone
Like
like
Nick started over.
yeah,
Yeah.
instead of running back and forth, hitting record,
Yeah.
lining stuff up.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
hear that again. So
Tell me about the order of the songs, and is there a lot of thought that goes into that? I have a sense that there is, but I mean, or no? No, you just
I
not really.
I mean, I came up with it just based off of what I thought would flow into the next.
Yeah.
Corey lets me have my way with the track listing typically.
yeah,
For like live set lists, and then when records are done,
Yeah.
get to put them in the order. And yeah, I mean, this one, it just made the most sense to me.
Yeah.
There's some songs that need to be back to back, and then there was very clear this one's the closer.
Yeah, it's not common that the title track's the last song on an album.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you decided to put that one there, and it happens to be the longest song
Yeah.
on the album.
it's a
too.
behemoth.
that was the
Yeah.
it was we were like we have to write one that's longer than Brain Mist. I think was the original long one, like 6.5 minutes.
Yeah,
I think. So we're like, let's go beyond that because I don't know. It's just
I like it when albums have a big, long,
yeah,
crazy track at the end.
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause it just
Solidifies
keeps you to keep,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
forces you to keep just listening, start at the top, and then at the end,
Mm-hmm.
you have to listen all the way to the end.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
So tell me about the songwriting process. Are you writing most of the songs? Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, especially this one was kind of interesting because again, having a lot of older material, like there's one track we were even like, should it be on the record? Should it not be? I don't know if I should give too many details, but
We're all about
basically-
details.
yeah.
Let's get details.
whatever you need to do, Corey.
Okay. Well, this one was a synth track originally, all synth.
Okay.
It was just Brooke actually got me the Korg monologue, and after that, I was just like listening to Mr. Elevator a lot. I was like, okay, I need to write a Mr. Elevator type song, real fast, and then we're like, how are we gonna do this live though? Because playing keys live, I'm so glad that Brooke does it because that would terrify me. And so we're like, okay, let's just translate that one into guitar and still have the keys as the dominant instrument though. So that one was, again, I'm glad it made it, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then there's another older one that changed a ton. But specifically, like, one of the more heavier tracks, these guys got me a Pog 2 guitar pedal, and again, very influential just from a pedal. And so it was like, okay, we're writing this song now and seeing how far it goes. And so basically I'll start the primary riff essentially, or melody, and then show it to everybody kind of, and then usually Brooke will jam with me or have ideas too, and then just start layering things like what works, what doesn't work. Like a lot of it is when we look at each other like that's the one, or we get goosebumps, stuff like that. You have to really be cognizant about. So that's usually what makes us feel accomplished, I think, is and then the title track, such a long one, but it was like to the point of this is just going nowhere. It sucks because we want to finish this thing, but and then we were about to almost give up on it. I was just like, let's marinate on it, some more, and then bam, just all this wave of inspiration for almost like being buried alive or something, and then you just find a way up, and that's kind of how it turned out. And I was like, yes, I'm glad it just made the light of day finally. So
There's so many tracks on this album where it was like, I'm done. I'm not. We can't finish it. Like, whatever it is right now, it's just what it's gonna have to be.
And then that day happens, and just whip it out.
Yep.
Something happens in your life or whatever, and it just propels you to take care of business musically. And
I think on the title track, there's like a high, during the chorus, I guess, there's a really high background vocal. Or is that a synth?
Oh,
It almost sounds like
yeah.
a voice. I mean, it's real
Could
high.
be. We
That's-
did layer a lot of like
Yeah.
you, me, Devin
Yeah.
voices like in the whole album. So
I think I know what he's done. Yeah. It's that like, I don't even know what patch it is on the Roland, but it's basically the when it's like I don't know.
um,
Anyway, um,
if it's not a voice, it's a key. I'm sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like a voice, and it's up there, and it's high, and it just stays there. And I thought that could be a synth, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't for sure. It's really cool, and for some reason that just stood out to me. I could hear that. It was really cool to hear that. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
And then again, that was just one of those magical moments. I had this riff,
yeah,
and then I was like, "Check this out, Brooke." And she starts just jamming, and since she's doing vocals on that track,
yeah,
you know, I was like, just something real subtle, and you just, I mean, couldn't have been anything else in my opinion.
Hmm.
So
How do
nailed
you
it.
all of your songs and what I find every time I listen, I feel like I pick up something new that I hadn't heard. B, that song now becomes my favorite song on the album, and that changes every time I listen to it because, and this is the beauty I think of the songs on this album. You got a fast tempo, then you slow it down. I mean, it's almost like there's 3 or 4 songs in a song. Yeah, and how do you do that? I mean, how does that come to mind that like, hey, let's just all of a sudden veer right on this?
Yeah.
We,
How does
we
that
get
work?
bored. I think
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
Devin,
Yeah.
you termed it one
Yeah.
time like this is like our biggest ADHD album
Yeah.
or something like that. You
Yeah.
said something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
Yeah, there's definitely like a manic energy from just
Yeah.
like we can't stay in one place for too
Yeah.
long, you know? And I've always been that way as a musician where I like to just like take hard right turns and
Yeah.
like when I was younger, like being like the primary songwriter in bands, like songs would never have choruses. It would just be like section A goes into section B, goes into section C, goes into section D, and then it's end. Like, you know, like
Mhm.
and I think that there's a lot of that philosophy in Moon
Yeah.
Goons as well.
Yep.
Just in terms of the way it's structured.
And sometimes it works out like verse, chorus,
Yeah.
rarely, but
Right.
sometimes it's just like it's what it calls for.
It's almost,
Right.
and I'm not a classical expert, but it's almost like there's movements within the song. You
Yeah.
just call them movements.
Oh,
you
oh,
know?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. And it holds my interest because you just never know what's coming next.
mhm.
It's awesome. Yeah. The subject matter of the lyrics are you writing the lyrics? Everybody kind of contribute to the lyrics, or
It's these two
Yeah.
right here.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you pulling from to get your lyrics? The
Yeah.
subject.
This is a
No
Brooke
idea.
question.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it comes from.
Okay.
It's just if you see like a cool word or something, if someone says a cool word and you're like, I like that word.
There's some made up words.
There's some
on
yeah.
this
If you
album.
want
Yeah.
to like
There's
make up
several just, like-
words, yeah,
One of the song titles is Eurasian.
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a word, right? It is now.
It is now.
It is now. Yeah.
It's,
I actually, that's so
Phantom
crazy.
Erasure.
I've never thought about the fact that that's not a real word
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I just took it for granted.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Corey knows what he's talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like a form of erasing, you know,
Mhm.
not erosion, but
Yeah.
or corrosion.
Erasure and erosion
Erasure.
combined.
So you're kind of crafting most of the lyrics then?
Yeah, Corey comes up with like a lot of the really like fantastical, like fantasy words, and then if he's like stuck and doesn't know what to do, I'll chime in and try to like figure something out.
Or she'll have like just like a very broad idea too.
Mhm.
Like you have a kind of like or even the melody, like a vocal melody. And how many syllables do we need, you know, kind of thing, and go from there. What's the song about? What do you want it to be about? And then honestly started developing characters throughout the album too, and
Okay.
how does this character differ from the other one? How can we make it all line up together too?
I think we
Which-
kind of cheat too. We use a thesaurus a lot.
Yeah.
Like if
Why
we
not?
have
Yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
word that we like, but we're like, we don't want to say this word again. So
Mhm. Yeah.
we go to that a lot.
Yeah.
Don't want
I
to
think.
repeat ourselves too much, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the actual parts of the song, jumping back to that, so you're bringing the basic riff. You guys flesh it out. Do you get to just add your parts as you feel, or is there some direction on? Hey, I hear this drum being played this way, or
Corey doesn't ever tell us no, really.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
rare that I'm like, if anything, can you play this one thing?
Yeah.
I think Devin, I had you do. It was in Doom Tomb Giant. There was one
Sure,
riff. I was
sure.
like, just if the only thing I ask if you could do that.
Yeah.
And then Jacob is like, yeah, like that's why I always I try to do like if I'm programming drums,
Mhm.
either do it really basically
Mhm.
or add like, okay, how do I hear Jacob playing it
Mhm.
more or less like his
Mhm.
style, even though his style is so hard to program
Yeah.
because you're just moving all, and I love that. So, because I'm not gonna spend my time doing that because
Sure.
Yeah.
he's too
the,
crazy.
the general like workflow pipeline is Corey and Brooke will demo out a song, and Corey will, like you said, like program drums. He'll record rudimentary bass and vocals and early ideas, and then that shows up in Google Drive.
Ah.
Yeah.
And then
So
I'll sit at
nice.
home and I'll kind of rework and like
Mhm.
go flesh out parts.
Yeah.
Put my own spin onto everything, and then we get together and we work everything else out from there.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I just can't believe you guys recorded all that in 3 days.
I think it was actually 2.
Yeah, I think it was
Because
too.
the first day was just setting up
Mhm.
microphones.
Yeah,
And we practiced it twice. We started doing like twice a week.
Yeah, where we would just sit,
Just-
run the record
yeah.
a couple times.
and
Yeah.
that's not taking into account vocals and like overdubs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
still
exactly.
doing the core of it in
Mhm.
just a couple days is crazy. Yeah. Or it seems to me,
Yeah.
especially as complicated as it is. I mean, these aren't 3 chords songs. These are.
The A Daydream Dark, we tried to parse out and track everything
Yeah.
separately,
Uh-huh.
and it came out terrible, and we just redid the whole thing,
Okay.
like
Yep,
live tracking,
yep.
and we really liked that. I think it's easier. It takes less time, as
Mhm.
long as everybody knows what they're doing.
Yep.
Then
Yeah.
and then you get that live energy. It
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
makes sure that the song feels the same on the album as it's gonna feel whenever you're playing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you play any of these songs out live before you actually put them on the album? Were some of these played live?
oh yeah,
Okay.
A lot
We've
of
been
Yeah.
we've been playing at least half the album
The
for
first
like
half
a
of
year.
the album has been getting played live, yeah.
Knowing this is going to be on the album, or more of just to see how it feels when you're playing it, or
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. The songs definitely come into their own whenever we play them live. Like I always feel stronger about the songs that we start playing a year out,
Mhm.
and we have time to kind of like put them through their paces
Sure.
and hone them.
Mhm.
Then, because it does seem like usually there's a few songs that we have never, like Lady of Many Faces, we had like never played from front to back really
Yeah.
at all
Mhm.
until we went in to record like a few days before, like the week before or whatever. We started like actually working on trying to put it all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That was a beast for sure.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
A lot of fun though.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a great song.
It was most of day 2.
yeah.
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 It's
Mhm.
just right
How
on
do
that one.
you, a little bit more on the songwriting part, on talismanic figures?
Mhm.
Is talismanic? Am I saying that right? Is that a word?
Yeah,
Talismanic?
It
I
is
think that
now?
is a word.
That is a word?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you do some vocal modulation on that.
Mhm.
And is that something you hear it when you're writing it, or is it just, hey, let's throw this at it and see what happens? Or,
Yeah, like that. I think it's a really fast flanger effect.
Mm.
And I really liked it just for that song specific. I think maybe and that one was an old one too, honestly.
Mm.
And I put some vocals to it, and I think my process is like, okay, listen to the song with dry vocals.
Mhm.
What does it kind of call for? And I don't know, something about that one just felt right with that effect, essentially. Whereas I don't feel the same for the rest of the album.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think more or less trying to emulate maybe what those talismanic figures sound like almost, you know?
Okay.
Just kind of eerie almost, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
That one-
As a singer, at what point did you become comfortable with your voice?
That's a funny story.
He didn't have a choice,
That's a
really.
funny story.
Yeah.
Nope.
We started being a band. We were going to try to find a singer,
Yeah.
and then I
Yeah.
booked a show. And I was like, Corey,
We're walking the
you
plank.
gotta sing.
Yeah.
Literally, like on the tip of the plank.
I remember the,
Like, okay,
the
guys.
rehearsal that we were doing when I was like, hey, man, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. You got to do it at least for the one show.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. And I remember being like, this is the test. Afterwards, I go, how'd you feel? Oh, it was great. Like, okay,
Mhm.
cool. There's nobody else that could do it. I mean, you make everything. It's like
Yeah.
you would never be able to find somebody to do exactly what you hear in your head
Yeah.
other than
Mhm.
yourself. So
And it's, I mean, it always has its challenges still, obviously. Like, you still want to push yourself, and um, I don't know. It's been fun though. Like,
Well, you in Wizard Prison, the way you say Wizard Prison in that,
Uh-huh.
I was thinking I sing a little bit in the band I'm in. We're a cover band, and I'm just like I don't really want to do this. So I to leap to what you're doing and hearing these sounds in your head, and then feeling confident to do it and know that I could never say that how you're doing it, but it sounds awesome the
Oh,
way you're
thank you.
doing it.
Thanks.
I don't know if that's coming across in the right way.
Yeah.
How do you hear that? How do you go, I'm going to do this and it's going to sound freaking awesome?
Well, I think um again, here we are with like the goblin rock, goblin prog.
Yeah,
They-
that's
you
Corey's
know,
goblin voice for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard that.
Well, I like how the
Someone-
theme continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when people, I've heard like, yeah, we like the goblin voice, kind of, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
I'll throw it in there every once in a while, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll have more of that, in the future.
Yeah.
'Cause it is kind of fun, and
Our ultimate goal is to put out a full goblin
Goblin
record,
album.
but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
that would be pretty fun.
Great strain on Corey's voice to go
Oh, yeah.
goblin all the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's getting closer every day.
Just naturally becoming more goblin as I go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'll work on it.
So Jacob, what you said Ego Feeder wouldn't be in your top 5. So what would be in your top 3?
Hidden Hermit of the Hills, which is track
Mm.
3,
Mm.
the title track,
Mhm.
which is the closer, and Larva Lamp would
Yeah.
probably hit that number 3 spot.
Okay.
I think Devin agrees with that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Larva Lamp's my favorite song on the album, but it's just really fun to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any of them? And we'll start talking about how you translate all this live. Are there any of those? I'm sure there are some of the songs that are just hard to play live, even from your back catalog or off of this record. Where you just go, man, we've created a real beast here to play.
Yeah.
Especially as a
mean,
4-piece,
yeah.
because you recorded some songs as a 5-piece in the past, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're a 4-piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Lady's going to be a challenge. We're kind of staring down the barrel of that right now because
Mhm.
at this album release show, we're just going to play the album from front to
Yep.
back.
Mhm.
And like I said, we haven't played that live before, but it's coming together.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm-
nervous anymore. That sounds good.
Jacob's not nervous anymore, so
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
just
bring it, huh?
It's not
as
Just
taxing
get it on.
we'll just
anymore.
follow his lead, I
We've
guess.
done it good so many times now that it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, Doom Tomb Giant is one of the ones that is still a challenge.
Yeah, those are the 2
Um,
from this record that haven't been played live yet.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and how do you, as you're working through those movements, how do you just know what's next? To me, that this music sounds, it's awesome, but it sounds complicated to play. And I would think I would get lost. I mean, really, if I had a brain fade for a second, I would, because you can't get out of time with what
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys are doing.
Yep.
I don't know. It's amazing how you pull that off.
And that's
Yeah.
been a big challenge, especially again, title track.
Yeah.
There is that section of like 7/8, and it's so fast though.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you get off 1 second, it's like, okay, so start over,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think at this point, everyone's so locked in. And
Yeah,
it's not.
You just got to kind of live in the song for a while.
Yep.
And
yeah,
Yeah.
just a matter of grinding it. Eventually, it just becomes second nature.
Mm-hmm. Second, yeah.
Yeah. And I've watched, of course, I've seen you the one time, and I saw the video that you played down in Bloomington recently. You
Mhm.
guys are-
Oh yeah.
yeah,
The
and just
theater.
that was fun.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right, yeah.
that was really cool. And I thought how tight, and probably because I'm a sloppy player, I'd be like, I could never pull that off. But you guys are just so tight and just locked in. So it's impressive.
Thank you.
It's really
Thank you.
impressive.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Talk about having to sing over that. Singing and playing that has got to be
Yeah.
tough. And maybe you're just schooled enough now, you're used to it, but
Kind of more or less. And again, it comes in waves of, okay, this is easy. Oh, that's one part though.
yeah.
Got to really work on that. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of the songs are pretty easy especially once the guitar is just again second nature.
Mhm.
I find it's always easier to sing and play things that you wrote too.
Mm.
Yes.
You know,
Mm.
because
Yes.
then
Yeah.
it's like
That makes sense.
it just fits into the way that your brain works
Mhm.
automatically. Like you're not going to naturally write a guitar part and a vocal part that you can't perform, right?
That makes
Mhm.
sense.
You're gonna
Yeah.
do what you can do,
Right.
Right.
and
Find a way to.
you know, certain patterns might be harder for some people than others, and
Yeah.
but yeah, that's always been my experience.
Mhm.
At least.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or if we write something, it's like I can't sing and play this at the same time, so somebody else sing here.
yeah.
Yeah,
You sing this part, and then we'll play this
Mhm.
part.
Yeah.
there's that chunk in Hidden Hermit that
Yep.
you passed lead vocals to me
Yeah.
because you were just like, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
That, and I don't know. I just thought Devin's voice was perfect for that too. Like I really want to showcase both of these guys a lot more because they have great voices too.
So you're singing lead or have some lead in that song? in
There's
Hermit
there's one section
that you're
that
singing?
I take
Okay.
lead vocal.
Okay.
Yeah, I do backups all over the album,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay.
there's one section where I get to sing alone now.
Yeah.
Devin
That's
can
exciting.
harmonize with anything.
Yeah.
Devin, sing your highest note.
No,
Put him on the spot. So talk about the live fans that come to watch you play. What's the live experience? Because it clearly is. It's an event when you guys play.
Oh, it is a blast.
Yeah.
It is
It's a
just
blast.
So someone that hasn't seen Moon Goons,
Uh-huh.
what are they going to get?
oh, so we're always wearing matching clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right now, we got new jumpsuits. We're busting them out for the new
Uniforms.
show. They're super funny, and a lot of the time, I would say a solid 60 to 70% of the time, we have a projector. My partner, Charlie, has been doing lights for us for years now.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you catch us at the right show, we'll have a cool light show going.
Yeah.
Uh,
They do such a great job too.
yeah, and then 30 to 40 minutes of some goblins making some sounds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a hoot and holler.
Yeah. It's a lot of energy. It's
Yeah.
A lot of energy.
That's the thing. We just want to evoke that and then reciprocate. You know,
Yeah.
it's just so much more fun at shows when people are just going nuts, and including the band. You know,
Yeah.
so the more of that, the better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How do the songs evolve as you guys have played? And I think you kind of alluded maybe that you've played it for a year on this record, but like your back catalog, do they evolve, or they now that you've played them for a while?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. This was definitely the case with the Daydream Dark, where like a year out from that release,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I would record this album so much differently now.
Mm.
Like, there's so many parts that have been changed and tweaked and added, and like
Mhm.
in all those songs,
Yep.
that I think like massively improved them live.
Yeah.
But you know, you can't
Yeah.
re-record the album
Can't
every year.
re-record it. Yeah.
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 That's kind of veer off there a little bit. That's one thing. Bob Dylan is famous for always changing his songs, and I saw him quoted like, in that moment when the song was recorded, it was, that's what it was then, but
Mm-hmm.
it evolves. It's a different song 20 years later,
Right.
Exactly.
and he'll play it differently. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
A lot of artists will do that too.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got to do that for your own sanity to some extent too. You know, if you're just
Yeah.
going through the motions and playing it
Yeah.
note for note exactly the same, someone like Bob Dylan who's been
Right.
doing it for so long,
Yeah.
like he'd probably go insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't know. Makes it just more enjoyable.
Yeah,
So,
right. It's like a living thing. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Bingo.
I
Mhm.
think I saw in that Bloomington video. Did you not have shoes on?
Correct.
Yeah.
I never play with
Sorry,
shoes.
never had
Really?
shoes live. Yeah.
I think
How you do that?
I just started.
Right? Wouldn't you
to,
think he'd
and-
hurt his feet on the pedals?
On the pedals.
That's what I say too.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Got those goblin feet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those 4E wides, yeah, or whatever they're called.
Just get more grounded. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And, like,
It just feels better. I think my shoes have. I don't know. They just get in the way now.
Get in the way.
So,
huh?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I've
Do you have a big pedal board? Are you having to
Um,
hit a lot of pedals?
got like 10, I think,
Okay.
the max.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, some of them knobs are more spiky than
Oh.
others, so I try to do more of a heel thing 'cause
Yeah.
my heels
Yeah.
are pretty calloused,
Sure.
So I do have baby soft feet on the other end,
Oh.
but I'm working on it.
Yeah. Artwork. Who's doing the artwork?
There's a guy named Alex Borrego who has done 90% of our artwork since we started. I met him on the internet,
Really? Okay.
as you meet all the best people. and saw a drawing he did, and I reached out to him and said, "Hey, I would love to use that as an album cover for my band." And we became buds, and he's just done everything, and we've gone on. He lives in Las Vegas, I should mention that. So
Okay.
we've ended up meeting him a few times in person now, either traveling out that way or he's actually flown in to see a show before.
Okay.
But he is our guy, 100% when it comes to art. Just super, gets it. And like for this new record, I
I
sent
love
him.
that artwork on the new record.
Yeah, I sent him all those demos like 6 months before we started recording, so he could start coming up with ideas. And that's how it usually goes. Just send him the record early and let him draw to it.
So each of the faces or people or logos that are in the corner, does that represent each one of you?
We all picked one.
We picked,
once we
Yeah,
got
we
the
did.
one, but
Yeah.
Okay.
they represent the characters from the album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, so in the new suits though, there's the images on the suit for each one of us. We picked a different one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a live band first and then a studio band, or is it 50-50?
I would say live band first, because I've always told Corey, like, I don't want to record music that we can't play live.
Touche.
I don't like it when like a recorded album is so much better than the actual band playing
Yes.
live.
Yeah.
That always makes me really sad. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, we do add extra stuff in our albums, but
to keep
90% of
going.
it, yeah,
Mhm.
is if we can't play it live, it's not going to be recorded.
Yeah.
So
Maybe throw in a sample or two, you
Yeah.
know, or clapping or tambourine,
Mhm.
but nothing that again you can't play.
hmm
That was well said.
Yeah.
How many shows are you playing a year on average, or what would you like to play? What's the goal there?
I'd say the ideal number of shows to play in a year. I wish we could play like 80.
Mhm.
I think this year we're on track to do closer to like 60.
Okay.
But that's cool.
And is that how far out do you go from the central Indiana area?
So the furthest out we're going this year, we're going to be in Iowa
Mm.
for a little bit, which will be fun. But we're blessed to live in a city where we're within 6 hours of like 100 other cities.
Yeah.
So we don't really ever have to go far. And then Brooke's a teacher, so we really work around that schedule a lot, which means just a lot of Friday and Saturday shows.
Sure.
Which is, it's fun,
Okay.
but we don't go very far.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you teach?
I teach at the Indiana Women's Prison,
Okay. Okay.
so
All right.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah. All right.
Just keeps them in line.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good.
It's an all year round school too, so
Ah.
it's like
Yeah, no summer
Nope.
break.
no summer
Breaks,
break.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, talk about we've alluded to it a little bit, but talk about the album release show and how you put that together. And
It's going to be so much fun. So the Back Alley Ballyhoo, which we've mentioned, they're taking a break from it this
yeah, I
year.
was sad to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I talked to the owner of Square Cat and I was like, hey, could we put the name Back Alley Ballyhoo on this album release show and, presents this show and we could make it a larger show. And so ideally I wanted to do like 7 bands. Now it's just 5. But it's going to be incredible. Doomgong is probably my favorite regional band at the moment. They're going to be playing right before us. Then we have Hypertensions, who are some of our great buds.
Yeah.
Been loving playing shows with them forever. Brood X from Cleveland, one of the craziest bands I've seen ever.
Yeah.
And then
Radar
Radar
Gold.
Gold, which is my other band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in that band too?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And we've been doing shows with Radar Gold like for years. They've
Yeah.
always been one of our favorites. Then I
We love
joined a
them.
couple years ago. and,
Okay.
Radar Gold is definitely like our sister band in
Yeah.
Indianapolis. We play so many shows together. We
Oh,
share
yeah.
a drummer,
Yeah.
and yeah,
That's convenient.
Yeah.
They're just such
They've
amazing
been-
people too. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been one of the best bands in Indianapolis for
Mhm.
so long. I mean, they're
I saw
seriously
them
incredible.
at the Ballyhoo too, and
Oh, they're
really
so
enjoyed
good.
them. Yeah. So everybody's a Ballyhoo alum there, except for maybe the group from Cleveland.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
That's
excited to bring them in though.
yeah.
They're
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, Brudex is gonna
Mhm.
blow some people's minds
How'd
for
you
sure.
find them? How'd you,
Friends of friends. Well, actually, so I do some work at the music venue Healer,
okay.
and I booked them there last year, just because I saw one live clip that I was into, and from the one live clip, I was like, okay, I get it. They're like noisy rock. So I put them kind of on a punk bill.
Yeah.
And when I was watching the show, I was like, okay, these guys are not a punk band. This is insane. It's like Gen Z Hawkwind, like just really in your face, scary, bad trip music.
It's it's just like a wall of sound. They have like dancers with tambourines, like it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's more than just like a band playing a set.
Okay.
for Dex. It's like a whole experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Lovely.
cool.
Yeah.
So
That's
I was just obsessed, and
Yeah.
we've done quite a
Thank
few shows
goodness
with them now.
Jacob found them because
Yeah.
They
Cool.
rock.
it's been really
They've-
fun.
Yeah, of course, King Kong.
Cool.
Mhm.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Yeah.
crazy night of drummers for sure, because
Mm.
Ian from Brewdex is one of my favorite drummers in the world. Then, Kenny and Matt from Doomgong are insane.
Mm.
Josh Morrow is probably my favorite local drummer.
Yeah.
And
Man, you're right.
the drummer of the other bands is okay.
Yeah.
But,
Jacob's our freaking king of our hearts.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
it'll be cool.
Yeah. Good deal.
You should definitely come.
I'd love to. My oldest daughter's getting married that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I would love to be there. Yeah, I love being at the Square Cat,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
taking in shows there, especially since they remodeled it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
made it bigger. But that's such a cool place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we begin to wrap up here. What's on the horizon beyond this? What's on the horizon? More shows. What's the plan for the next few months and years?
Yeah. Well, next month we've got that Iowa run that Jacob alluded to earlier. What else is on the books?
Just a lot of little weekend dashes, not going anywhere too far, but just trying to, play the record in front of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing that through early next year. Corey's already cooking up a lot of new demos for the next record. It's going to
Yeah.
be even heavier.
The Google Drive is filling up again.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
He
Demos are
would do
fun.
that, like, even if we weren't a band. Corey's just always been a guy to just, like, make a song
Yeah.
for no use other than either it sits in Google Drive
Mhm.
or
I mean, that's what
we get to play it
Yeah.
or something.
Goon songs originated from. Is just I heard King Gizzard, so I'm gonna write what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a necessity.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So you're doing a few shows out in Iowa then?
Oh, so, we're doing some shows to get out there and then to get back.
Okay.
So we'll just be hitting like St. Louis, Kansas City, and
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
yeah, Wisconsin.
And then we'll be going to do some Ohio shows, going do some Kentucky shows, some Michigan shows. So, just the neighbor
Yeah.
states.
Is that new, or have you always done that since you've been a band?
We do little
do it for
weekend
a
runs
while.
quite a bit.
Yeah. I feel like the last year and a half or so, we've
Mhm.
been focusing much harder on playing out of town.
Yeah.
Like we used to play a lot more local shows,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but I think we just kind of at a certain point we're like, why are we doing this? All these people,
Sure.
everyone doesn't need to see us once a month,
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here in Indy, like it makes the shows that we do play local now like feel like more of an event,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just fun to get out there.
Yeah. It's much more fun to
Yeah.
to meet people.
Yeah. Cool. Website. How do fans connect? Follow you, connect, all that kind of thing. What?
We're the most active on Instagram for sure, at
Okay.
Moon Goons Tunes. We do have a website and stuff, but it's all in the link in the bio there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to get a Facebook recently, and I love Facebook.
Do you?
I'm obsessed with Facebook now.
Are you? Yeah.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You on there poking people?
Yeah, I've been on
Yeah.
there poking people. Like, dude, some rabbit holes on Facebook for sure. That's been fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're up to like 100 followers on Facebook, and I'm really thankful for that. We'll keep growing. That was a Chris.
Shout out Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So the best place is Instagram, and go there and follow the links from there.
Yeah.
And Bandcamp. You're on Bandcamp.
Of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
you gotta be on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Bandcamp.
Yeah, dude,
Love
like
it.
it's the ideal streaming service. No paywall. Come on.
Yeah. And you put your catalog up for a crazy low price.
They should all be free. I feel bad that you paid. I thought I set them all to free.
Yeah, I think it was like $8.
That's probably because I forgot to
Paid-
set one album to free. So you probably just paid for one album.
Well, I had paid more than that because I thought, in the end, you guys should get something. I mean,
Oh, you're too kind.
Yeah, well, no,
Thank you,
seriously,
Buzz,
it's
yeah.
a lot to put that out, and we're in this world now that of everything should be free. I want free music, and it's just where we're at. I just, if at all possible, I like to support. You know, just
Thank
and
you.
it's not
Appreciate
much,
that.
but it
Yeah.
helps, I guess. Maybe it gets a tank of gas or something.
Yeah,
Right.
But
for sure.
It's all body armor.
Yeah, it's
Any dollar you give us, we are going to the grocery store.
Awesome. Hey, real quick, a couple things. Just like get a quick scan of what's on your radar. Bands that you're listening to, kind of heavy rotation on your playlist. Who are you checking out?
Oh, cool.
Okay, last night I went and saw Esperanza Spalding
Ooh.
at Old National Center, and my mind has been blown open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be going on a big rabbit hole for her. I've listened to her on and off for
Yeah.
years, but whoa,
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Anybody else? I mean,
Let's
or
see.
your mind's so blown by her that it's just everything else is.
Yeah, that's just what's on my mind right now. It's extremely fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Pass.
Darian, have you heard of the Beatles?
I think so.
They go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, listen to Doom Gong. They're the best.
Yeah.
I got to name drop them a ton.
Yeah.
Another, regional psych band that I just got into, General Baxter from Cincinnati.
Hmm.
They're very exciting, and I'd really love to play with them soon. And then a new record just dropped from a band we've played with a couple times, Subtropolis from St. Louis.
Ooh, Subtropolis
They
is
are
great.
nuts.
Yeah.
Another fun experience.
Yeah.
Kind of band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
that's been heavy rotation for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Corey, how about?
Let's see. Classic. I've been listening to since it's getting more Fallout. Been listening to a lot of Typo Negative.
Okay.
I've been listening to a lot of Death Clock too. The cartoon band.
Yeah. Nice.
Again, a lot of soundtracks, video game soundtracks, movie soundtracks. Oh, the new DOC's album for sure. Sorks 80. Yeah, still trying to find more music though
Yeah.
every
sure,
day because
Sure.
Corey, don't stop.
yeah, I drive a lot, so
Yeah.
it's like I hate listening to the same stuff though over and
Yeah,
over, but
yeah.
I'd say
Cool.
those have been on my radar for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been listening to a band called Flagman. They're from Florida.
Okay.
They're just melt your face off band. Really fun, goofy. And the singer called Mono Chow, he's putting out an album next week, and it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's like,
Oh, it's just melt your heart. Beautiful Latino, almost rock, but not quite rock.
yeah,
You know?
it's all really, it just feels like a hug.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
but yeah,
Nice.
just those two right now, I think.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for making the trip,
Yeah.
and thanks for hanging out for a little bit.
Thank you,
And,
Darren.
Yeah, thanks.
This is so nice.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. So I'm gonna stop the recording. We'll chat a little bit, and then
Sounds good.
yeah, we'll wrap up. Okay. Thanks.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.